Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Today on this show we have Chris Brandon. She's the Executive Director of Western Nevada Development District. I'm Rachel Dahl in for Sam Shad on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The 13th annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Nevada Mining Association, mining a better future for Nevada. Silver State Government Relations, we know Nevada, so you don't have to. And University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, offering the highest level of care in Nevada.
Rev it up during the $250,000 Cash and Wheels Guaranteed giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Thousands in cash and free play every Thursday and Saturday. Drive away with a 2025 Ford Bronco or $45,000 guaranteed. Rev it up at the Carson Valley Inn.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Rachel Dahl in for Sam Shad. Today on the show is Chris Brandon. She's the Executive Director of Western Nevada Development District. We've worked together for a few years now, and I'm really grateful you came on the show today.
I'm really happy to be here today. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much. I thought it would be instructive if we talked about WNDD and what you guys do and how you fit in the economic development universe in Nevada.
Well, it's a big universe in Nevada.
It is, but you guys play such an important role in that. And you've been around since I was first doing economic development as a little baby helping Shirley Walker in 92. So it's been a while.
Yeah. So the Western Nevada Development District officially was designated as a federal economic development district in 1985. So we are 40 years old, which is amazing to think about. But we cover 9 counties, 7 cities, and the Pyramid Lake Paiute tribe.
Okay.
So we are a large territory, 9 of 17 counties. Our primary mission is to help those communities get federal funding for infrastructure primarily.
Yeah.
But we look at it holistically. If you don't have community development, you can't have economic development.
Correct.
So you have to have amenities. You have to have the cute little downtown. If you're a rural community, it's really important, not only for your existing residents, but to attract businesses to come to your community.
Right.
How does that play into the big world of economic development in Nevada? We are not a regional development authority. Right. There are 8 of them in the state. They are funded by the state, partly.
Right.
We are not funded by the state. We get 0 state funding. We are federally funded, and then our jurisdictional members, those counties, cities, and tribe, pay membership dues. So they are our match money for our federal grant.
Okay.
So we do not bring businesses in. That's
Right.
an RDA does that. We do not do workforce development. However, we work with the community colleges.
Right.
So we work with Western Nevada College. We work with Truckee Meadows Community College and Great Basin College to bring monies for facilities, right? So they can do workforce development. We don't want to get in that lane, but it's important that they have the funding beyond just what NSHE gives them so that they can provide those certifications and those associate degrees and the things that we need in Nevada.
Right. That's always important. I always forget that piece of it, that you actually help those colleges get funding for buildings. That's so exciting. So the RDAs then, 8 RDAs, and those fall officially under the Governor's Office on Economic Development.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
And then that would be the EDON and the CFED and
NDA and correct.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Who serves on your board right now? How many members on your board? Sorry, that's kind of a
so I believe
not
we
put
have
you on the spot.
16 jurisdictions that are members, active members.
And do each of them have a board member?
Mostly. Some of them don't.
Never mind. You don't need to list.
Yeah, and then, so let me explain to you because it's pretty interesting. I remember when I interviewed for the job, they're like, we have 48 board members. How do you feel about that? And I was like, wow, that's a lot of humans. I have wielded chairmanships of large boards before. So I was like, I wasn't intimidated by it. But the reality is each one of those jurisdictions has a voting member. They are the elected official from that entity.
Right.
And so really it's 16. So if you put it in perspective, it's not really that many. But we're pretty much all on the same sheet of music. So our big mantra is think regionally. Right. And so they all think locally, right? Which is important for their jurisdiction, but then we bring that into a regional perspective.
That's so good too, because you've got to be able to step back and see the whole picture.
Yes.
And when we come back from break, we're going to address that big picture issue from some specific communities, if that's okay.
That sounds good.
All right. So we'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers with Chris Brandon.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
Hit the road in style during the $150,000 Roads to Riches giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Win up to $5,000 every week and a top prize of a 2026 Chevy Traverse or $40,000 in cash. It's the $150,000 Roads to Riches giveaways at Tamarack Casino.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
I'm Rachel Dahl. We're back on Nevada Newsmakers with Chris Brandon talking rural economic development. But you guys cover very urban areas. And the thing I think that's really important about what you do is each one of your members, of course, has a specific focus for their own jurisdiction. But if we don't step back and look at the big picture, we're going to get ourselves in trouble. For example, my drive in here this morning on I-80, I remember when Dean Haymore stood up in an economic development meeting and said, we're building these factories. We're not going to build houses. That's your guys' problem. And that stuck in my mind. So how is it that you guys work on some of those issues? And does traffic on I-80 come up in your conversations?
Okay, so back to the big picture is we are all connected. And how are we connected? By transportation, by rail. And so it's difficult to get people to the table to like really look at that. But if you build a tri-center that we have in Story County, and there is no housing, then where are your employees coming from, right?
Right.
So they're coming from Reno, Sparks, actually all over the region, Carson City. The buses go to Dayton, to Fallon, to Fernley, and even some people from Lovelock drive there.
Yeah.
And so that highway, which was interstate, is now a local commuter road with the interstate commerce happening. So you've got all the trucks trying to get through. You also have tourists trying to travel that highway. And then you have 30,000+ people showing up at the Tri-Center every morning and leaving every evening.
Right.
So we do work with NDOT. We can't do a lot, but they asked for a letter of support. Of course, we supported the expansion to 6 lanes. They are in the process of doing the NEPA, the environmental, the cultural work right now. We got a presentation from them in January to our board of directors, and we actually were out at the Tri-Center for our meeting. Very important that we stay connected to all of those partners because the impacts are great, as you know, driving through there.
Oh, yeah.
It's not good most of the evenings. I mean, if there's a car wreck, you're sitting there for 2 hours, literally like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you're like, well, I guess I'm going to get home eventually.
Right.
But the project manager that came, he spoke about they're going to have to blast the mountains on the north side because it's a canyon.
It's so tight, yeah.
Right? You have the river, you have the floodplain, and you have the UP, the Union Pacific Rail line that goes in there. And currently we have miniature shoulders. They're not real shoulders. You can't actually pull off on them. And so it will have complete shoulders for accidents to get off of the highway is the goal. But it's still going to be an issue. You might have more cars involved in the wreck. We'll see. We're hopeful that it will help solve some of the congestion issues. But it's Vista Boulevard to USA Parkway.
Right.
So that doesn't address USA Parkway all the way to Fernley, which is still an ongoing congested area, right?
You got to start somewhere. Something's got to be done.
Yeah.
So I imagine used to be a part of those board meetings. I'm sure that comes up. But talk about some of the other fun projects that you guys have done. I know you've been involved in Brownsfields, and there's a lot you do in these communities. Talk about maybe your 2 or 3 of your favorite projects.
So we have a lot of things going on. We're working with Pershing County and Lovelock. Just kind of trying to do a restart for them and figure out what they need and where they're going. I was out there yesterday meeting with the CEO of the hospital and one of the commissioners. We have on our board, we also have associate members. And so one of our associate members is Brycon Construction. And so they do a lot of design build work, but they build hospitals. Oh. And so I was having lunch with that member and they're like, you don't know this, but I was born and raised there. And I said, wow. And so she's like, I want to help. And I'm like, Absolutely, let's go. And so I think it's like building those partnerships and all those connections. But that was a really positive conversation. But it's a step, right? It's one step towards your end goal. And so I try to work with the communities in a lot of education of, okay, but you must follow these steps in order for us to get to your end goal. And so, that was step 2. We've had step 1, identify the problem. Now we've done step 2, and now we're going to go towards step 3. But it's moving those communities forward with the things that they really need. And so that's the hospital is like 1961, 62.
Yeah, I love that building. That's one of my favorite buildings. It's mid-century modern, just this fantastic building.
Yeah, we just discovered that it is listed with the State Historic Preservation Office.
I'm not surprised.
So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, so that's kind of a hurdle as far as doing any kind of expansion to that building. So anyway, I've got to look into that. That's my next step there.
So much groundwork, so much foundation building is so that you can get a community ready to apply for funding that then helps them with their projects.
Right, and we help them with their applications. We're not the applicant. They have to be the applicant. But we do a lot of work on getting their applications together and helping them through the process. They don't know the answers to a lot of the questions that are on there. So the other one we're really working with is Fernley, City of Fernley. They're growing probably the fastest in the state, and so they have a lot of needs, right? We're working on a wastewater treatment plant, brand new mechanical system to get them away from the old lagoon system that they have. It was fine when they were a small rural town, but they're over 25,000 people now. And Mark IV Capital is the one who has developed the Victory Logistics Park. Okay, so that's all the industrial area. But their goal is to build literally a second City of Fernley on the north side of I-80. And when you think about that, it's like we're going to go from 25,000 to 50,000 people. And their time frame, I think they were saying we're going to do it in 10 years. I think now they're saying 15 years, which sounds a little more sane. But still, that's extreme rapid growth on a community. And so we are out there on the regular, going to council meetings, to garner support for these projects. The other one that they asked me at the last, 2 weeks ago council meeting was not only the wastewater treatment plant, but then they need help with their water treatment plant. So they need to do some expansion work there. It exists, at least. We're not building from ground zero, but it's another major issue for them is to have the water. And so right now they work off of water wells, right? But it's not going to hold them for the capacity that they're going to need. So they're looking at, they have water rights, surface water rights to the canal. And so they've got to build that inlet or whatever over the piping or whatever to the plant and then add more treatment because surface water is different than groundwater. And so the treatments will be different. They need to address the things that are coming in the canal water.
What they're doing over there is very innovative. When that project to treat the surface water is going to be exciting.
That's exciting. Then the other one we're working on out there is the Early Learning Center. So they just completed their Community Resource and Response Center, which is also going to be the Boys and Girls Club. They had the ribbon cutting just 2 weeks ago. It is beautiful. So I was out there for that. But the second phase of that whole project, there are 3 phases. The second phase is the Early Learning Center. And so the Boys and Girls Club, it was already discussed that they would be the ones who would operate it. So we tried to get them federal funding, and we were turned down, and they were like, well, no, that's not it is a wraparound service for workforce. If they don't have a place to put their children, their younger children, then they can't go work. Well, where are the younger workforce age people? Fernley. The young families are there, but both parents cannot work because it is a daycare desert. That's what we call it. And so we're trying to help them to overcome that. And we couldn't get federal funding. So we asked 3 times. On the 3rd strike, I'm like, okay, we're out. I said, so we have to be creative, right? We have to think of ways outside of the normal channels that we look at. And so it was like, we need to go to private funding. We need to find that because there's too much federal funds that are frozen right now, or they just went away. Those grant tranches have gone away, and now it's more like, oh, well, you can get this loan. But for some of the communities, that's not good enough, right? They need the grant monies. Yeah. So and Fernley does not qualify for USDA because there are too many people, right? There are over 20,000 people. Yeah. So you can't go that direction. And so I reached out to Councilman Albert Torres out there, and I said, Albert, I need your help. I said, we need to go meet with Boys and Girls Club of Truckee Meadows. And so I set up the meeting, and we went. And Boys and Girls Club works with a lot of private foundations, right? Yeah. And so we just started the conversation, and they said, well, maybe, but we would have to own the land. Okay, well, okay, then that goes back to the city attorney in Fernley. Is that doable? And so we've gotten approval that, yes, we can do that. And working with the CEO, Mike Worm, he said, if we ever decide not to be a Boys and Girls Club, then it reverts back to the city of Fernley ownership. Right. And so that works for the community because that's really what they need, is to have that early learning center. So anyway, we're moving forward on it, and I think they're going to be able to do it.
It's like a giant game of solitaire. You got to have some aces before you can do the twos. That's awesome. We're going to take just a little bit of a break, and we'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers with Chris Brandon from Western Nevada Development District.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
You're in trouble with the law. It's easy to think you'll lose everything, but there is hope. I'm attorney Orrin Johnson. Your first step is to hire a serious attorney with the experience to successfully navigate the legal system for you.
Sometimes hope means addiction treatment instead of jail, and making sure you're treated fairly.
Sometimes hope means fearless trial attorneys who will stand up to the government when they get it wrong. Call or text Orrin Johnson Law.
We'll make a plan.
You'll take back your life.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
We're back on Nevada Newsmakers with Chris Brandon from WNDD. Such a fun job that you have covering all these rural communities. I think one of the things that I've seen you do, although you are, as an economic development district, connected specifically to the Economic Development Administration, you've made good relationships. And talk about real quick as we tie this up, what the other agencies are that you pull into these projects in these communities.
Okay, thank you for that question. And so we work with USDA, we work with the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, because of the brownfields, right? That's our primaries to be able to do those environmental assessments. It helps move, especially the rural communities, it really helps move them forward. We also work with the Governor's Office of Economic Development that you mentioned earlier. So we work with Sherry Davis, who covers the rural counties, in Nevada, and she also is in charge of the Main Street America program for the state.
Right.
So we do a lot of work with her. We bring people to her is really what we do.
Yeah.
We are connectors, right? And we also bring those rural communities to Jessica Sanders, who works for GoEd for the community development block grant monies. The other one is the EDA. That's our primary because that's our parent organization, right? And the Economic Development Administration is part of Department of Commerce. That's where we fall under as far as federal departments go.
Okay.
But we also work with our congressional delegation quite a lot. So,
because you have congressional designated spending.
Correct.
Okay.
Because we're funded federally, we also get support federally from Congressman Amadei's office, and then both of the senators, Cortez Masto and Rosen's office. Okay. And so I work with not only the local folks, the Nevada state representatives for them, but also with their federal folks that work in D.C. So when they come to town, then I end up having meetings with them. I've got a meeting, I believe, next week with Senator Cortez Masto's representative from Washington, D.C.
Perfect.
And
such a fun ecosystem. We keep running into each other all over the state. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you do. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us today on Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Rachel Dahl for Sam Shad.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
The 13th annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Nevada Mining Association, mining a better future for Nevada. Silver State Government Relations, we know Nevada, so you don't have to. And University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, offering the highest level of care in Nevada.
Thanks for watching us on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers. We'll see you at the next show.